From Vince versus Austin to Cody finishing his story, from the Summer of Punk to the Bloodline's family saga, WWE has given us some epic stories over the years. In this video, we're revisiting the best storyline from every year in WWE, starting from 1997. 1997 gave us the debut of Kane, the infamous Montreal Screwjob, and yet the company was getting absolutely destroyed in the ratings war. However, a certain redneck from Texas would rise to the top and turn the tide. The epic clash between Austin and Bret Hart and the shocking double turn at WrestleMania 13 led to the year's best story. The Hitman entered Mania as the beloved babyface while Austin was the hated heel, but by the time Austin passed out refusing to tap to the sharpshooter, the roles had completely reversed. Hart's vicious post-match assault turned him heel, while Austin's toughness made him the ultimate anti-hero. Austin would continue feuding with the Hart Foundation for the majority of 1997, and this feud laid the foundation for the Attitude Era's biggest star. Austin's rising popularity caught fire throughout 1998, setting up the feud that would save the company from going bankrupt. Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon became the ultimate storyline that resonated with every wrestling fan. After winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 14, Austin immediately found himself on a collision course with the boss, who demanded a corporate champion. McMahon threw everything at Austin to take the title, enlisting Dude Love, Kane, Undertaker, and anyone willing to do his bidding. This storyline captured lightning in a bottle and helped WWE finally defeat WCW in the ratings war. But while Austin continued his dominance into 1999, a new challenger emerged to push him to the limit. The Rock had evolved from a hated babyface into the corporate champion and became Vince McMahon's poster boy. Rock and Austin's first WrestleMania clash saw these two megastars collide with the title on the line. The build featured iconic moments like Austin spraying the corporation with a beer truck just days before their showdown. After Austin won at Mania, The Rock stole his championship belt and threw both Austin and the belt into a river in Detroit. Every time Rock and Austin came face-to-face, the atmosphere was electric, cementing this as the Attitude Era's signature rivalry. However, as we entered the new millennium, Austin was out with injury, and now it was time to play the game. The year 2000 belonged to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon as they seized control of the company. What started as a controversial storyline where Triple H married Stephanie in Las Vegas evolved into the McMahon-Helmsley Era. The power couple ran roughshod over the roster, with Stephanie winning the Women's Championship and Triple H dominating as WWE Champion. The storyline featured a love triangle with Kurt Angle that added layers of jealousy and betrayal. But heading into 2001, things were about to get extreme. The year 2001 was chaotic for the company as we got Austin turning heel, Vince buying WCW, and the underwhelming Invasion storyline. But while the main event scene suffered with weak booking and injuries, 2001 delivered one of the greatest tag team rivalries in history as the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian revolutionized the division. The Dudleys brought tables, the Hardys brought ladders, and Edge and Christian brought chairs, creating the perfect storm of violence and innovation that changed tag team wrestling forever. However, in 2002, a much more personal rivalry was about to dominate the WWE. After a year away recovering from a torn quad injury, Triple H returned in 2002 as a conquering hero, only to betray his best friend. The DX reunion quickly soured as Triple H turned on HBK, who had returned from 4 years of retirement. The storyline built towards an unsanctioned match at SummerSlam, where the former partners went to war. The feud continued at Survivor Series and Armageddon, with their long history adding genuine emotion to the story. 2003 gave us some amazing feuds like HBK versus Jericho, Lesnar versus Angle, and also Rock and Austin's final battle. However, a certain Big Red Machine unmasked on Raw in mid-2003, and Monday nights turned into a horror show. Kane became more violent and unpredictable, attacking anyone who looked at his face. He chokeslammed Eric Bischoff, tombstoned Linda McMahon, buried Undertaker alive, and electrocuted Shane McMahon in one of the most epic monster heel runs in history. But switching gears from Kane's horror, 2004 gave us a feel-good story with Eddie Guerrero's emotional journey to the WWE Championship. The Latino Heat had overcome personal demons before clawing his way back to the top. His rivalry with Brock Lesnar built throughout early 2004, with Eddie playing the lovable underdog against the Beast incarnate. At No Way Out, Eddie shocked the world by defeating Lesnar for the title in one of the most genuine emotional moments in wrestling history. While the year also gave us Orton versus Mick Foley, Kane versus Taker, and Chris Benoit's rise, it was Eddie's redemption story that stole everyone's hearts. Triple H's reign of terror continued into 2005, but Evolution began showing cracks when Batista grew tired of playing second fiddle. The Animal had been Triple H's muscle for years, but winning the Royal Rumble forced a decision about his WrestleMania title shot. Triple H tried manipulating Batista into challenging JBL instead, but the animal saw through the game's schemes. The tension built for weeks as Batista finally snapped and gave his former mentor a thumbs down. At WrestleMania 21, Batista defeated Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship in a match that launched him as a main event star. But while Batista won the big gold, another future legend became WWE Champion on the same night. John Cena dominated Raw as WWE Champion in 2005, but 2006 saw him face his greatest rival in Edge. The Rated R superstar cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Cena after an Elimination Chamber match, winning his first World Championship in shocking fashion. Their feud became intensely personal, and the two traded the title back and forth throughout the year in brutal encounters at Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and Unforgiven. Edge played the cunning heel perfectly, and Cena's never-give-up attitude clashed with Edge's opportunistic style, creating a rivalry that defined both men's careers. But while Cena and Edge's feud took over Raw, a battle of powerhouses would rule SmackDown in 2007. The rivalry between Batista and The Undertaker dominated 2007 as two of SmackDown's biggest stars collided in a dream feud. After winning the Royal Rumble, Undertaker chose to challenge Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. While Taker dethroned the Animal at Mania, their feud would continue with more intense battles throughout the year, including a last man standing match, a steel cage match, and even a Hell in a Cell match. The Deadman would rule SmackDown once again the following year as he found himself engulfed in a deeply intense feud with Edge. After costing Undertaker the championship, the Rated R superstar assembled a stable including Curt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, Chavo Guerrero, and Bam Neely to help him outnumber the Deadman. Their feud saw them battle at WrestleMania, Backlash, One Night Stand, and finally culminated at SummerSlam when the Deadman chokeslammed Edge to hell. Another personal rivalry dominated 2009 as Randy Orton became a menace to society and terrorized the McMahon family. After Orton took out Vince, Shane, and Stephanie, Stephanie's husband, Triple H, stepped up to the plate and got into an intense rivalry with the Viper that saw the game invade Orton's home, and Randy handcuffed Triple H only to kiss Stephanie in front of him. 2010 gave us the debut of Nexus, Batista quitting the company, and Randy Orton turning face after 5 years. But while all that happened, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels delivered 2010's most emotional story when HBK put his career on the line to end the streak. After their instant classic at WrestleMania 25, Michaels became obsessed with being the one to defeat Undertaker at WrestleMania. He cost Undertaker the World Heavyweight Championship and chased him for months, begging for a rematch. Finally, Taker accepted, but only after HBK put his career on the line. When Undertaker finally hit the tombstone, Michaels' career ended in heartbreaking fashion. But as one legend departed in 2010, 2011 brought us a new revolution. CM Punk turned the wrestling industry upside down in 2011 with his infamous pipe bomb. After defeating John Cena to win the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank, Punk left through the crowd and took the championship with him. He proclaimed himself the voice of the voiceless and became the most talked-about performer in wrestling. When Punk returned for SummerSlam, the storyline became convoluted after Kevin Nash and Triple H were added to the mix. But for a few months in 2011, the pipe bomb created the summer of Punk and proved that wrestling could still be unpredictable. The Rock and John Cena's feud defined 2012 as the dream match brought mainstream attention back to wrestling. The build lasted an entire year with both men trading verbal barbs and questioning each other's commitment. Rock claimed Cena had become a corporate sellout while Cena questioned if Rock truly cared about wrestling or just his Hollywood career. WrestleMania 28 in Miami delivered over 78,000 fans watching Rock defeat Cena in the main event. Cena's loss haunted him throughout the year, and while Cena would get his redemption the next year, a new unstoppable trio took over the company. The Shield's domination throughout 2013 created wrestling's most destructive faction in years as Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose arrived through the crowd to attack anyone in their path. The trio held the United States Championship and Tag Team Championships simultaneously while remaining undefeated for months. The chemistry between Reigns' powerhouse style, Rollins' athleticism, and Ambrose's unhinged charisma made them must-see. But while the Shield ruled 2013, a certain American dragon was building a revolution. Daniel Bryan's Yes movement captured everyone's heart in 2014. After being screwed out of the title by Triple H at SummerSlam 2013, Bryan battled against the Authority for months. Fans hijacked shows with yes chants and demanded Bryan receive his rightful spot. The movement reached its peak at WrestleMania 30, when Bryan defeated Triple H in the opener to earn his spot in the main event, then overcame Batista and Randy Orton in a triple threat to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But while Bryan's feel-good story ruled 2014, 2015 proved that the Authority always has a plan B. Seth Rollins' alignment with the Authority led to his villainous run throughout 2015 as the company's top heel. After breaking up the Shield by attacking Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose with a steel chair, Rollins became Triple H and Stephanie's chosen corporate champion. He won the Money in the Bank briefcase and then cashed in at WrestleMania 31, stealing the championship from both Lesnar and Reigns in the main event. The Authority protected Rollins at every turn, giving him backup from J&J Security and Kane, while he cowardly defended the championship against John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Dean Ambrose. Rollins held both the WWE Championship and United States Championship simultaneously, cementing his role as the Authority's golden boy. His cowardly heel persona was perfectly executed as he talked a big game but needed help to win. Rollins' championship reign defined 2015 until a devastating knee injury sidelined him, but his work that year established him as a main event star. However, while Rollins dominated 2015, 2016 gave us the most phenomenal debut year ever. AJ Styles shocked the wrestling world by debuting at the Royal Rumble and established himself as a legit main event star. He feuded with Chris Jericho in a series of matches that showcased his abilities, then challenged Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship in multiple classics. Despite losing to Reigns, Styles was moved to SmackDown in the brand split where he defeated Dean Ambrose at Backlash to win his first WWE Championship. However, Styles' best feud during this time was against John Cena as the two delivered classics at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. Styles' rise from indie darling to WWE champion in less than a year proved he belonged among the elite. Styles brought credibility and work rate that elevated everyone he faced, and by year's end, Styles had become SmackDown's franchise player. But as the calendar flipped to 2017, we got one of the most heartbreaking betrayals in wrestling history. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens' bromance dominated Raw as Y2J made everyone smile with his list of Jericho. Owens held the Universal Championship while Jericho won the United States title, creating an unstoppable duo. But cracks formed when Jericho accepted Goldberg's title challenge on Owens' behalf without asking. The Festival of Friendship on February 13th became wrestling's most heartbreaking segment as Jericho celebrated their bond, only for KO to absolutely destroy him. The betrayal led us to WrestleMania 33, when Jericho and Owens faced off for the US title. Throughout 2017, the two would meet again on several occasions, giving us a personal feud that hit all the right emotions. But while Owens was booed for turning on his best friend, Becky Lynch became a megastar after she did the same. Becky Lynch's transformation into the Man began when Charlotte Flair stole her opportunity at SummerSlam by being added to the SmackDown Women's Championship match against Carmella. After Flair won, Lynch snapped and attacked her best friend, becoming an instant hero despite WWE trying to position Lynch as the villain. Lynch's rivalry with Charlotte was personal, and her feud with Ronda Rousey made headlines. However, Becky wasn't the only overlooked star who got a major push during this time. Kofamania delivered wrestling's ultimate underdog story, when Kofi Kingston finally shattered his glass ceiling after 11 years. Despite coming up short in the chamber, fans demanded Kingston receive his opportunity to become world champion. Vince made Kofi jump through endless hoops as the New Day's Brotherhood elevated the story beyond just Kingston's quest, making it about loyalty and friendship. At WrestleMania, Kofi defeated Bryan to become the WWE champion in an emotional moment. But while Kofi and Becky got their moment, nothing compared to the meteoric run that dominated wrestling for 4 years from 2020 to 2023. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline dominated the company across 4 years in one of wrestling's most compelling long-term storylines. Returning at SummerSlam 2020 as the Tribal Chief, Reigns aligned with Paul Heyman and transformed into the ultimate villain. He unified the WWE and Universal Championships, holding the Universal title for a record 1,316 days while forcing the Usos to acknowledge him as head of the table. Solo Sikoa joined, and Sami Zayn's addition brought comic relief before his inevitable betrayal. Reigns defended against everyone, Bryan, Lesnar, Cena, cementing his legacy as the greatest champion of the modern era. This generational run redefined what a championship reign could be, making Reigns the final boss everyone wanted to dethrone. But no matter how dominant somebody is in the WWE, their run eventually has to come to an end. Cody Rhodes finally finished his story by dethroning Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, completing a 2-year journey that began when he returned at Mania 38. The main event featured interference from multiple legends before Rhodes finally hit 3 consecutive crossroads to end Reigns' historic reign. 2025 was disappointing from a creative standpoint, but the company gave us a shocker early in the year, as John Cena's heel turn created wrestling's most unexpected storyline in ages. While the initial moment brought massive mainstream attention, the follow-up was weak and Cena eventually turned face again days before SummerSlam. But in a year marked by horrible booking decisions and creative choices, Cena's retirement tour was the one bright spot that gave fans something to tune in for. However, 18 years before Triple H's booking ruined Cena's legacy, Cena had the best year of his career in 2007. And on that note, check out this video next to revisit the best year from every WWE legend's career.